All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Alex Biggs. He is the CEO of Lightning Minerals. And Alex, welcome back. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you're in Brazil, and that makes sense because you were recently on a big site visit of a couple of projects. So let's sort of get everyone up to date about why you're in Brazil and more importantly, these two projects.
Yeah, certainly. So I've been in Brazil since I think the 3rd of June. So the last couple of weeks we've been visiting our new acquisitions, Caribas and Cedronio, which are lithium projects in the Lithium Valley in Minas Gerais here. Obviously, that's a prolific region. People would know it from Latin Resources, Sigma Lithium. A lot of operators there, a lot of big, large-scale projects. So the point of the trip was to come and have a look at the projects, have a look at the prospectivity on the ground, spend some time with some of the guys we know here who know that region really well. And I guess they're obviously crucial to, our exploration here and having that local knowledge and local IP. And I guess, walking around the bush, which I do like to do, I do like to touch and feel and see things, has been excellent. And, we walk away from our trip here going, these projects are really prospective, probably even more so than perhaps we thought when we acquired them. We look at the regional geology, we look at the local geology, we look at the operators in the region, we look at the number of discoveries that have been made recently. And principally, the only question you have to then answer is there anything left for us at Lightning? And there's a lot of opportunity here. So we're really pleased with what we see. I think these, my personal opinion is this whole district, the whole Lithium Valley, is 10 to 20 times more prospective than probably anything else I've seen recently. So it's a great opportunity for us, and it's a great coup for the company to acquire these projects here. So we're very, very excited.
So, Alex, you've already outlined the next stages of what's going to happen at those projects, and that really means just getting on the ground and getting some work done.
Yeah, that's right. Boots on the ground, it's crucial. I mean, we made these acquisitions and we've got lithium on our tenements, and, we see what's around us and we see the other operators, and, we see the potential of the region. That on its own doesn't do anything for us as a business. We have to get on the ground and do that grassroots work. So, part of that is mapping, of course. We need to walk through these tenements. We need to map some of these pegmatites. Some of that work's already occurred, so it's just an expansion of that. We want to do some more geophysics. We have some state geophysics from the Brazilian Geological Survey, which is great, but we want a bit more granularity over some targets that we see. Some soil sampling work as well. So all of these things, you overlay these things, on their own. Not one of those is necessarily sort of, but it's not definitive. So we overlay these things, then we start doing our targeting. For us, obviously it's about finding good drill targets. And somebody asked me, not long ago, what does a good drill target look like? Which is a great question. I think you can't answer that question without doing this boots on the ground work. And that's the opportunity that we see here for Lightning here in Brazil. We've got the team, we've got the local knowledge, we've got the strategy, we know what we want to achieve, and we know why we want to achieve it. I look at the other operators in this region, I look up to these guys, I go, I want us to have 100 million tons one day. That's what I want for Lightning, but we have to start somewhere, and that is now.
Okay, let's leave Brazil and take you over to Western Australia for the Mailman Hill Gold Project, because you also had a recent announcement that you're beginning an auger program. So tell me a bit about that one.
Yeah, back in Western Australia, you're giving me jet lag, Steve. I'm here in Brazil, thinking about there. I mean, look, when we look at Lightning's package, we have lithium projects in Western Australia and Canada and now Brazil. Lithium is our focus, okay? It always has been. We like the critical mineral space. Despite the downturn in the industry, we love lithium. We see the long-term potential. Now, the Mailman Hill Gold Project that you mentioned, that was part of our IPO back in 2022. And, that's a fantastic project. I mean, it's a large tenement. It's right near Cavalier Resources Crawford project, which has a resource of over 100,000 ounces. It's right near some really big operators in that Leonora, Kalgoorlie region. So we're doing some auger work there to try and define this trend. There's gold there. We know that. Is there a resource? We're going to find out. So I think for us, nice bit of optionality, something else within the company. Our focus is still lithium, it's still Brazil, it's still Dundas, it's still Canada, but this is a nice little extra. So stay tuned for more news on that as well.
All right, look forward to that. Alex, thanks so much. Safe travels back to Australia, and great to see you again as always.
Great to see you. Thank you, Steve. Speak soon.
All right. All right. There's Alex Biggs, the CEO of Lightning Minerals.